The first technique for texture we will discuss is the sponge technique. For this technique, you will use a natural or deconstructed sponge as your brush. To properly use this technique, the paint must be applied by rotating the sponge. Use a minimal amount of paint, light pressure, and differ your angles to create authentic texture. Don't overload your sponge with paint or apply the sponge with too much pressure and all at the same uniform angle. The second method for adding texture is the scumble. For this technique, you will need a longer brush with tapered bristles. A scumble is the blending of two or more colors for a marbled look. The brush should be held at the end of the handle for light pressure. Since this is a non-linear scumble, paint must be applied at varying angles, similar to the sponge technique, using crisscross or figure 8 technique. The colors you choose should be blended at the edges, but the original colors should still be distinguishable. A wet blend is the key to this technique, and it helps to get into the habit of working quickly, as the paint will not blend well if you allow it to dry first. The third method for adding texture is the paint splatter. Any kind of bristle brush works well for this. What is most important is that the paint is watered down to about a half and half ratio. Once you have your paint watered down, you can use your brush, dab off any excess, and lightly tap the brush over your canvas using your finger or your wrist. How far away you are from the canvas will affect the dimensions of the paint splatter. The fourth and final technique is achieved using a rag or a cloth instead of a paintbrush. Simply bunch up your material around your hand, coat with a thin layer of paint, and apply. The application process is similar to that of the sponge technique. Simply rotate the angle for a more authentic texture.